to the Thought Snob Podcast. I'm Paula Swope. Let's get snobby. Welcome to another episode of the Thought Snob Podcast. I'm your host, Paula Swope, and I'm here with my husband, Will. And if you've been watching the podcast for a while, you know that we have switched up to a new format. We're experimenting with these shorter commentary episodes. But the challenging part of this new format for me is I don't know what I'm going to talk about until the last minute. Like, Will gives me a question or a topic, and I have to talk about it off the top of my head without any preparation whatsoever. So let's see what he has for me today.
Today's topic is energy vampires. How to identify your energy vampires and then how to handle those situations.
These people are the absolute bulls on the butt of humanity. If you don't know what an energy vampire is, an energy vampire is somebody that absolutely drains your energy every time you are around them. They take everything you've got. You don't have anything else to give. These people are assholes. They come to you for advice, and you give them advice, and they do not take it. They have no intention of taking your advice. They just want your attention because they are attention seekers. And energy vampires will violate every boundary. They don't care that they are zapping your energy. You are a source, okay? You are like their source of energy because they can't really get it on their own. Like, they're just, these people are the worst, and it's really, really hard to be close to somebody who is an energy vampire. Now, what I have found about this, because when you care about people, especially like when it's family, because people feel obligated to take shit from family just because they're family. And family members can get real entitled to your energy and to you, to accessibility to you. You know, a family member call you up and be like, you know, this is your mama or this is your dad. You better answer this phone when you know what's going to happen when you do answer the phone. If you're in a good mood, you're not going to be in a good mood for long. And I'm a person who has pretty good control of my emotions. But if I'm around an energy vampire, if I had to be around that type of person like day in and day out, it would be a challenge that I just flat out don't need at this point, because I know that those people are not good for me. They're not good for anybody unless it's a codependent relationship that's already unhealthy and in the shitter and has sustaining the test of time anyway, okay? So what I've learned about energy vampires is they are carrying around a lot of trauma. Their issues could be chemical or not, but whatever the case may be, they have bigger problems than most people can solve. They need more support than what the average, ordinary human being, cousin, brother, friend, whatever, can give them, because, hey, you know, we've all got lives of our own, and it's not that we don't want to be there for people, because we do. But when somebody always needs you to be there, always needs a pep talk, always needs advice, always has a problem, If it's always drama, that gets to be real, real hard to tolerate. And especially if you are somebody who is healed and your life is healthy and good and has a lot of positive aspects, and you're not, complaining, and you don't want drama, and if drama comes your way, you get rid of it. But if you're that type of person, but then you've got somebody who is just hanging on like a leech to you, blowing your phone up, demanding your attention, and then they'll have the audacity to act like their feelings are hurt if you are not available at their beck and call. That's how these energy vampires operate. Now, I used to be an energy vampire. Um many years. I mean, I'm thinking back. I did not I did not understand boundaries. Like, I did not respect boundaries. Like, my best friend, we're not, well, unfortunately that friendship had to end, but I had a best friend from elementary school on into my 20s. And both of us, there were no boundaries between, the two of us. I expected her to always be there. Like, I expected her to if I was bawling, squalling, crying, which was a lot, then I expected her to answer that phone. I expected her to open that door. And I expected her to sit there with me until I got past all that. But with me, it was a weekly occurrence. It wasn't just once every so many years. You got to be there for people that you care about when they're going through a hard time. But when somebody goes through a hard time all the time, you got to find time for yourself. And with somebody like that hanging on, man, it's kind of hard. And I've owned all of that, and I know how I was, and I understand why I was like that. And because I was like that, it's real easy for me to spot those energy vampires. And I have to draw a fine line between, like, bleeding heart and empathy. Like, I'll spot an energy vampire, and I will be like, "Ugh, they're an energy sucker," but I care about them, and I used to be the same way. I used to be guilty of the same things, and so I'll hang in there and see, if you are going to get better or if you're not. But I'm only available when I feel up to it. Let's put it that way. And that requires a lot of self-awareness. I'm a very self-aware person. If you're listening to this or you're watching me right now and you're like, "Oh God, I think I have a lot of energy vampires around me," first thing you need to do is become aware of that. Awareness is the foundation of all change. Until you become aware of the problem, you're never going to solve it. Ever. You're going to keep feeding it and making things worse. So, becoming aware of what drains your energy is the first step. When I started my self empowerment transformation, or my spiritual journey, whatever you want to call it, I was in my late 20s, and I really was not aware of all the things that drained my energy. And I identified something. I was a little ways into to my self healing, and that journey that I went on. The hell, I'm still on it, but I identified something that really put my light out. And it's something that I had been doing. It was my normal behavior. I had been doing it for as many years as I could remember. Every single evening, I would get on the telephone and I would drink beer, or I would drink wine. Usually it was beer or wine. I would drink and I would talk on the phone to a couple of different people. And it would go on for hours. I mean, hours. That's what I did with my precious time. Those phone conversations were not good because I was an energy vampire, and the person that I was talking to was an energy vampire. So what do two energy vampires do together? They rehash the past. They revisit every bad thing that's ever happened to them. They get mad about it. They stir it up. They'll talk about a damn fight they had with somebody 10 years prior, and they will feel exactly the way they did when that fight went down 10 years ago by the time they get into the details of it all. And energy vampires will also complain about everything, bitch about everything, criticize everything, everybody. And then the energy vampires will get into it. Like, if you're talking about somebody that you don't like and they try to defend that person, then you're going to try to convince them why they shouldn't be defending that person. And so it's just an absolute energy sucking mess. And that's what I did every single evening. That's what I did. So when I was cleaning up my act, I thought I gotta stop drinking. I gotta stop binge drinking. I gotta stop doing this. So what causes me to do that? Talking on the phone. What makes my mood go whoop down the toilet? Talking on the phone. And it kept coming back to talking on the phone. So I had to cut that out. That's one way that I broke the habit of being an energy vampire and broke the habit of allowing people to drain my energy. I stopped talking on the phone. Well, I found that if I didn't talk on the phone in the evenings, then I didn't drink. And so I started, I'd go walk, or I'd go to the bookstore. That's when I used to actually go in a bookstore. I'd go to a bookstore, and I'd always find a new Wayne Dyer book. Well, a new Wayne Dyer book would keep me off the damn phone for, God, months. But that's how I started to identify who those people were. I became aware I was one, and I didn't want to be one that's not at all like how or who I wanted to be. Um, so awareness is the number one way to stop that habit. We can when we have internal conflicts, unresolved issues, trauma, heavy emotions we're carrying around, grief, sadness, anger, carrying all this shit around that can serve us sometimes. But for the most part, if we carry it around for too long, it just doesn't. And it just turns into other things. Like, it gets embedded in our subconscious, and then our behaviors follow our beliefs about ourselves and about other people. And it can just turn into a really vicious cycle of never getting what you want, never having peace, always living in a world that is just full of problems. And energy vampires, that's usually what their world is like, or they wouldn't be after your energy. They would need it. I don't need energy from outside of myself, outside of my source. I don't need your energy. And so I'm not going to violate boundaries. I'm not going to blow your phone up. I'm not going to do those things. I used to. I don't anymore. But people who do that, they're totally unaware, and they don't care. That's what you got to know. They don't really care that they're doing that to you. They're getting what they need, and they're moving on. Just like a vampire sucking your blood, okay? Like, blood to a vampire is their lifeline. Your energy to an energy thief, as I call them also, that's their lifeline. As long as they get your energy, your attention, they get their fix. All right. And then if you pull it away, they might get butthurt, but they're just going to move on to somebody else who'll give them their energy. They're not going to stick around you long if you're not giving them what they want. And there's a huge difference between somebody who's going through a hard time and an energy thief. Huge, huge difference. If you help somebody who's going through a hard time, even if overall their life seems to be, pretty hard, but if you're helping them get through something and they take your advice, they're making changes, you see that they're making changes, then they're worth the time and energy that you feel like giving them. You should never allow anybody to drain the life out of you. Don't let anybody do that, ever, no matter who it is. I know that life can throw us curveballs. We have to take care of people that we love when they get sick, and all those things happen, and those times happen, and we got to work on ourselves when things are good so that we are emotionally, energetically resilient and ready for when those times hit. Day to day, you can't let people do that to you. So, huge difference between somebody going through a hard time and an energy thief. An energy thief never makes any changes. They don't take your advice. If you don't answer the phone once, they will keep calling, they will keep texting. If you tell them you can't talk, if you tell them you're busy, then they are going to keep calling, they are going to keep texting you. If you tell them that you can't talk, that your brain's fried, you've been working, you're not up to giving advice, then they are going to say, yes, you can. Okay? They're easy to spot once you become aware of it. Now, what happens here is when you deal with an energy thief consistently, let's say consistently, then you are irritated. Irritation is a number one huge sign indicator that you are out of alignment. And when you are out of alignment, if your energy is out of alignment, if you feel irritated day in, day out for an extended period, months, years, you are going to manifest some bad shit. That energy thief is going to materialize into everything you do. It's tangible and non-tangible. Manifestation is a real thing. We attract what we are. I like to use the term conscious creation instead of manifestation, because manifestation has become such a trendy word around social media, and I've made that comment on this podcast before. But we absolutely can consciously create things, but we can also subconsciously create things. And if we have no awareness of it, and we're allowing somebody to infiltrate our energy space and make us feel so irritated. Irritation is a strong vibe, and it will attach to money problems, health problems, injuries, accidents, fights, stupid stuff, car breaking down, refrigerator breaking down. You can't go to the grocery store without something stupid happening. That's what that frequency of irritation will do to you if you carry it for an extended period. One day of irritation, nothing's probably going to happen. More than likely, nothing's going to happen. 10 days of irritation, you might get a head cold. You might, something unexpected may happen, and it's not something good. But it's something that might be, a short-term problem with an easy fix, right? But if you stay irritated for a solid year, let's say you stay irritated for a solid year, you are going to create some things that you don't want. So if you are somebody, I'll wrap up on this note here. If you are somebody who has what appears to be bad luck, we create our luck. We aren't just born lucky or unlucky. We create our luck or lack of it, okay? And we do that through manifestation. We attract what we are. If you're irritated all the time, you might want to think about what your world looks like. If you're somebody whose car breaks down all the time, or maybe you have a flat tire, or maybe you have pesky little illnesses more than other people. Maybe you pack around a head cold all the time, or maybe your allergies are really bad and it causes you to sneeze and cough constantly. Or maybe you have headaches or just issues with your digestive system, stomach issues, anything like that. In injuries, just everything I named off earlier. Maybe you have things breaking down all the time in your house, or maybe problems at work. Every time your computer gets screwed up all the time. It's things like that that happen when you feel irritated. Like if that's your dominant feeling all the time, you will create some nasty shit that you don't want. But irritation is a pretty easy feeling to shift. Now, all the stuff that you create, that stuff's not always easy to undo, but irritation is a pretty good feeling to shift. And the number one thing that will clean up your energy space and get out of that low frequency of irritation, because irritation is a really bad vibe. And when you're irritated, people can pick up on that too. I mean, when you see somebody, you can tell probably immediately, especially if you're an intuitive like me. You can, energy speaks louder than words. You can tell if they're happy, if they're sad, if they're irritated, if they feel peaceful, if they're high energy, low energy. You can tell. It's so easy to tell. So people pick up on that if you're irritated. They're going to respond to that. People don't want to be around irritated people. But irritated people love to be around irritated people. It's misery loves company. Be aware of all of these things. Because if you stay in that frequency of irritation, you're going to be in a misery loves company type of situation, like me talking on the phone. That was misery loves company. So if you want to shift this, gratitude, you may think this is cheesy, roll your eyes to the back of your head. I don't care. I'm telling you the truth. Gratitude is the number one way to shift out of that energetic frequency of irritation. Instead of engaging in what irritates you, then don't engage in it. Just stop. Just stop and shift. Just make a shift and do something that you want to do and feel the gratitude for being able to do that, just for being able to make that decision. We should all feel grateful for our free will. I mean, that's the key right there. I mean, that's the key to your happiness. That's the key to if you're lucky or unlucky. It's free will. You use your free will. You make a damn decision and you use your free will to your advantage instead of your disadvantage. That's how you shift irritation. Once you stop engaging in what makes you irritated, for example, talking on the phone to an energy vampire, texting with an energy vampire, being accessible to an energy vampire, those are all examples, okay, that cause us to be irritated. Just don't do it. And there is a really kind, eloquent way that you can bail out of those situations. I actually talk about it in my book, Thought Snob, the modern spiritual playbook for a better life. You can get a copy on Amazon, Audible, TikTok Shop, and on my website at paulaswap.com. But I talk about how to bail out eloquently. You don't have to hurt anybody's feelings. You can give yourself grace, give them grace, and they will eventually leave you alone. I promise. An energy vampire does not care that deeply for you. They're after what you can give them. And when you don't give them what they need, they will move on to somebody else. So, in the meantime, between time, there are a lot of things you can do. Have excuses prepared. Don't don't say you're sick, don't say somebody's sick, nothing like that. Just have excuses prepared. Just innocent little excuses, okay? Oh, I can't talk on the phone tonight, or I can't see you tonight. I've gotta go get my hair done. Or, oh God, I got work to do. Just have excuses ready, okay? And that is a really, really quick and easy fix that you can start using right away. And right then, you avoid some irritation. Let it carry on into the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And you will start to feel so much better. And you will also have this newfound keen awareness of what you need and what you don't need. Okay? And you will feel very grateful for that, I hope. So that's my advice about energy vampires. Will, did I answer your question?
Absolutely. That was a great overview of energy vampires.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank everybody. Thank you everybody for tuning in again. You can always find us anywhere you get your podcasts. Also on YouTube. We appreciate any feedback you want to leave us. Rate us. Leave a review. See you guys next week. The Thought Snob Podcast with Paula Swope has been brought to you by Thought Snob Media in association with Special Purpose Studios. All production, mixing, and sound engineering by me, Will Swope. We hope you've enjoyed this podcast. Please take a few seconds to give us 5 stars and leave a review. See you on the next Thought Snob Podcast with Paula Swope.